Hello, and welcome to Purpose of Heart, the podcast. I'm your host, Priscilla Allman, and today we're going to be talking about something tender, something brave, something many people are quietly walking through right now. Starting again. Not starting for the first time, starting over. After the disappointment, after the loss, after the closed door, after the mistake, after the dream didn't unfold the way you imagined. Starting again requires a different kind of courage. Because the first time you had excitement, the second time you have experience. And sometimes that experience includes pain. Maybe you're starting again in your career, starting again in a relationship, starting again after grief or loss, starting again after you failed publicly or privately. And here's the question that whispers in moments like these. Do I even have it in me to try again? Let's begin here. Failure is an event, it is not your identity. Proverbs 24:16 says, "For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity." Notice something, it does not say that the righteous never fall. It says they rise again. There's perseverance involved. The courage to start again is not denial of what happened. It is refusal to let what happened define your future. And sometimes we hesitate to begin again because we're afraid of looking foolish. We think, what will people say? What if I fail again? What if I misheard God? Isaiah 43:18-19 says, "Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." A new thing. Not a recycled thing, not a patched up thing, a new thing. God is not intimidated by your wilderness. In fact, He specializes in making roads there. Sometimes the reason starting again feels scary is because we're grieving what was. And grief is not weakness, it's human. But staying in grief can quietly become agreement with hopelessness. Lamentations 3:21-23. This I recall to mind, therefore I have hope. Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. New every morning. That means yesterday does not get to dictate today. There is mercy for this chapter. There is grace for this attempt. There is strength for this restart. Now let's talk about something practical. Starting again often requires humility. Humility to say, I need to learn, I need to grow, I need to adjust. James 4:10 says, "Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and He will lift you up." Not you will lift yourself up. He will. There's safety in surrender. And sometimes the greatest courage is not boldness, it's obedience. Peter gives such a powerful example. After denying Jesus 3 times, imagine the shame. Imagine the regret. Imagine the internal spiral. But in John 21, Jesus restores him. And not only restores him, He recommissions him.
Failure did not disqualify Peter, it refined him. If you're breathing, God's not finished. Philippians chapter 1, verse 6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ.
He began it. He sustains it. He completes it. Your restart is not separate from his sovereignty. Sometimes we think starting again means starting alone. But Psalm 37, 23 to 24 reminds us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hand.
Though he fall. Not if, though. And he shall not be utterly cast down. Why?
Because the Lord upholds him. You are not restarting unsupportive. You are upheld. Now let's address the fear of making the same mistake.
That fear can paralyze progress. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. All things.
Even missteps, even delay, even heartbreak, even detours. God wastes nothing. What if the first attempt built muscles you didn't know you would need? What if the disappointment deepened your discernment? What if the delay strengthened your character? Starting again doesn't mean you go back to who you were. You begin again as someone wiser, stronger, more anchored.
And sometimes the restart isn't external, it's internal. Maybe you need to start again because you've drifted. Maybe you became distracted. Maybe disappointment made you distant.
But 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then I will hear from heaven. God is not allergic to your return. He welcomes it.
There is no shame in coming back. There is only grace. The enemy would love for you to believe it's too late. You missed your window. You had your chance. But Ecclesiastes 3:11 says he has made everything beautiful in its time.
Not your timeline, his time. And sometimes the delay wasn't denial, it was development. So how do you practically begin again? Start small. Obedience is often quiet. Send the email, submit the application, schedule the appointment, have the conversation, open the Bible again.
Register for the class. Take the first step. Pray again.
Zechariah 4:10 says, for who has despised the day of small things? Small beginnings are not insignificant. And here's something deeply freeing.
You don't need everyone's approval to begin again. Galatians 1:10 says, for do I now persuade men or God?
If I still please men, I would not be a bondservant of Christ. Starting again may not make sense to everyone, but obedience is not a group project.
It is personal. The courage to start again is rooted in this truth: your story isn't over. That chapter may have closed, but the author is still writing.
And if God is still writing, then there is still hope. Isaiah 40:31 says, but those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
renewed strength. Not recycled strength, renewed. If you ever feel tired, ask for renewal.
If you feel hesitant, ask for clarity. If you feel afraid, ask for courage. But do not settle in the ashes of what was. There is life beyond this moment. So today, if you're standing at the edge of a restart,
let this be your reminder. You're not disqualified. You are not behind beyond redemption. You're not too late.
You're being refined. And courage does not mean you aren't scared. It means you move forward in anchored trust. The same God who carried you through the first chapter will carry you through the next. Until next time, this is Purpose of Heart, the podcast. May you find the courage to rise again, grace for the new beginning, and confidence that your story is still unfolding. Goodbye for now.